Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, we're diving into one of the most important topic in Linux, which is file permissions. Understanding permission is absolutely essential if you want to use Linux seriously, whether that's for system admin, cybersecurity, or just managing your own file safely. Hopefully by the end of this tutorial, you will be more comfortable managing your own file and your own system. So let's get started. So in Linux, every file belongs to two things. We have the user, and then we have a group. And then we have a category that's for everyone else that is not the owner or the group. So just to show that, let me type ls. No, let me create a file. Let me go to documents. Let me create a file called text.txt. Now, if I do ls -l, as you can see for text.txt, these are the permission right here. So what do they mean? The dash let us know it's a text file. That's what I just created. Text.txt is a text file. And then we have two separate categories. We have read, write, and execution, even though none of these have the X, but the last one is for execution. So the first group, the first three letters are for the user or the owner, whoever created the file, that would be me. And then we have the second group, which is for the group category, which is everybody else. So how do we read this? So the first one let us know the permission and if it's a file or folder, and then we move to the username in the group. 30C, the first one is always the user or the owner, and then the following name is the group, and then we have the date and the size of the text file, and then we have the name, and then we have the date. So that's pretty much all there is to this. So now in Linux, we have three type of permission, and they are read, write, and execute, which is the R, the W, and the X. So for read, when it comes to file, it's gonna allow us to view the content inside of the file. And when it's for directories, it's allow us to list whatever is inside of the folder or directory. And then we have write. Same thing when it comes to file, we can modify the file, type or delete the content of a file. And then when it comes to directories, we can remove, add file that is inside of the directory. And then we have the X, which is execute. So for file, if it's a script or a program, it's going to allow us to run it. And then if it's assigned to a directory, it's going to allow us to get inside of the directory to view whatever is in there. So let me show a quick demonstration. I have a file, so let me create a second one. Let me do touch. Let's do script.sh. And then let me do gedit to edit the file, the script. I'm gonna quickly create a script. This shouldn't take that long. Okay. Okay, almost finished. Let's do let's do okay, let's do okay, let's do demo script finish. Okay, so pretty much what is happening is the top one let us know, let the script know we're using bash. That's what it does. We're using bash, and then echo allow us to write stuff to display writing onto the screen. So this gonna display this symbol. Come on. So it's gonna display welcome to the Linux permission demo space current user. YM is gonna print the current user space today's date and then listing file, and then it's gonna run lsl, forgot the L, let's see, and then space and then demo finish. Correct, so there's no error message. So let me save this. Okay, so let me exit out. Okay, so now if I do the same thing again, ls dash, you can see my script only have read write, there's no execution permission. So if I were to run this, I would not be able to run it. It will give me an error, script sh permission denied, because even though I'm the one who create the file, I'm the owner, I still don't have, because by default text file don't get created with execution permission. We will get to that later in this video. So we have to assign it the execution permission, which is X. So how do we do that? We use the chmod command. That's how we assign permission to file and folder. So now let's say I want to be able to run the script. I can do chmod plus X, which is gonna give it execution. That's what the X stands for, and then the name of the script. Now if I do ls again, now you can see everybody have execution permission, which is not good, but there's a way you can assign specific people specific permission instead of giving everybody the same permission like I just did. So now if I run the script again, it should run. Okay, so there you go. So the script, like I said, is gonna put welcome to the Linux permission demo. Current user is Teddy C, that's me, today's date. And then the ls command that was inside of the script, it displayed the tweet file that is inside of the document directory, and then demo script is finished. So that is one way to give permission. I mean, that is the only way to assign permission, which is with the chmod command, but we can also take permission away as well. So let's move to symbolic permission, which is using the letter. So the one that I just used was the X, the plus X. Plus is to add permission, minus is to remove. So the thing is with chmod, if you don't give it a specific group, maybe like the owner or group or everybody else or all, it automatically gonna give everybody the same permission, just like it did for the script. I give it the chmod plus X, it gave everyone. As you can see, the user have execute permission, group have it, and everybody else also have that. So, but we can use symbolic permission to give only a specific group permission. So let me clean the screen. I'm still gonna use the script. Now, if I do chmod, now let's say I want group to be able to run the script. I type the letter, which is J, plus X, and then the name of the file. Now, if I do ls-l, if we look at it again, oh, I have to remove the permission for the owner because I didn't do, let's see, chmod. Let's do a, no, let's do user, and then let's do o minus x script ls-l. Well, I guess you can't really give order. I mean, you can. What's going on? Wait. Take away. All right, let's do this again. Let's do j plus x script ls-l. Okay, so now, oh, I'm giving group. Okay, I thought I was giving order. Okay, so that was the confusing. I thought I was giving order. Execute permission. Okay, it's group. Okay, I'm giving group the execute permission. So if we check the script again, as you can see, I mean, I remove the owner execute permission from with the previous comment. So now if we check the permission again, if we take a look now, the owner only have read and write. The dash mean no permission, so the execute permission is not there. And then we move to group. Group can read and then they can execute, and then other can only read. So let me try to run the script again and see what happened. As you can see, I mean, I'm using Red Hat. Since I don't have execute permission, usually I press tab to do autocomplete. But since I don't have execute permission, when I press tab, nothing happened. But I can type the name. Wait, okay, I missed the R. So as you can see, permission denied because I no longer have execute permission like I did before. So that's how we can use symbolic permission to assign a specific group different type of permission. So U is for user or the owner, group, J is for group, O is for other, and L is for everyone. So to show that, let me click so I can do chmod. I can use all of them together. I can use them one by one. So I can do, so this will be the same thing as using this O, and then plus X, the permission I want to give, the name. That's one way to do it. Or we can just use A. It will give everybody the specific permission you want, which is execute permission. If I press enter, I do ls. If we take a look at script now, everybody can execute this script. And then I can remove it. I can also do the same thing in reverse. I can do chmod. I can do all minus X, the name of the file, ls. Now nobody can run the script, and you even, as you can see, the color even changed. Now it's a regular file. It's not executable no more. So that's one way we can use, we can give or assign permission. And then we also have numeric ways of giving permission. So let me scroll down. Okay, so it's not here. Okay, so let me see. I did not put it in my notes, so it's not in my note. Okay, so this change of ownership. Okay, we're not there. Okay, so there's another way we can assign permission, which is using number. So pretty much how it goes. Let me quickly create another file. So we have read, and we have write, and then we have execute. So let me make this bigger. Text font size. Okay, so we have read. That's 4. That's the numeric value we have for read. And then we have write. That's 2. And then we have execute, and then that is 1. So with all of them combined together, that give us 7. So that's pretty much all there is to it though. So read have a default value of 4, write is 2, and execute is 1. So now how to show that? So now let's say I wanted to give the owner execute permission. So I'll do ch mod. I'll use number now. So we can only use three, not three digit. The first digit. So let me use 77. So and then I can explain, and then I'll explain that later. So 3 digit. I mean, actually, there's 4, but it's 3. The first one, the same thing is for the owner. Second letter is for group, and the last one is for everybody else. So now we have 7. So if we add all of these 3 together, it gives us 7. So 7 mean full permission. We can read, write, and execute. So it's the same thing. Let's say I wanted to give the owner full permission. I'll leave the 7. And then I wanted to give group just write permission. I can change that to a 2. And then let's say I wanted to give everybody else write permission. And then I can just change that to, oops, let's see, 4. And then if I press enter, now I press ls. Now if we check the permission that we just assigned, 7 full permission, read, write, execute, that's what we give. 2 is write, that's all the group can do, is write into the file. And then everyone else, I give them read permission, which is the 4, and then that's it. So this is how you use the number system to assign permission to file and folder. You can also do the same thing to file. I think one of the video previous that I'll show you guys how to create folder with permission. I think we do that with mk there with -m. I can also use the same thing. Let's say 724. I can do 724. Let me create a file. Let me do a test folder. So now if I do ls, that test is gonna be a directory, and then you're gonna see it's gonna have the same permission as script. So there you go. As you can see, those two have the same permission. The only difference between the two is the D, which let us know it's a directory, it's not a file. So that's one way you can create folder or directory with its own permission from the get-go. So let me remove that. Okay, you can do the same thing. chmod 724. Oh, that's after. So wait, I already removed the folder, so I won't be able to give it a permission, because you can only use chmod if directory is already there. So let me create a regular folder. mk there. Text. Now let's do chmod 724 text. So now if we check the permission, it's gonna be the same thing. Both of them have the same permission. It let us the D, let us know it's a directory, read, write, execute, write, read. So that's one way to use the numeric system. It's very simple, to be honest. There's not much into it. You can use those 3 numbers to create whatever permission you want. And I mean, I guess 0 is nothing. So if we use 0, then that's mean there's no permission to assign. Let's create a screen. Let's go back to our notes section. So now we can also change ownership of groups and permission of groups. And we have 2 ways of doing that. We can use the chown command, and then we can use the chgrp command. The difference between the two, the chown will allow us to also change the username in the group at the same time, but the chgrp is only for group, and that's it. So let me show you guys. So let's see. Let's do ls-l. Right now, I'm the owner of all of these files and directories, and they are in my group. So whenever you create a folder or directory, they automatically get assigned to you. There's a group that get created for you, and they all get assigned to it. So if I wanted to know what group I'm into, so I can do, I think it's groups 30C. Is that the command? Yes. So these are the groups that I'm in. 30C, and there's a group that's called group. I have no idea what it does, but it's there. So whenever you create something, a group automatically get created for you. So it's the same thing I can do. Let me do sudo groups. I think I have a user called Alice. Hopefully I should be able to list her groups. As you can see, the user Alice in the system, same thing. Use groups, username and group. So anything you create automatically get assigned to you, the owner, and then the group that get created for you. Anything you created automatically get assigned to that group. But we can change that. So for example, let's say script. Let's say I no longer want to be the owner of script. I can do ch own, and then I'm gonna do let's do root. You know what? I don't want to be. Let's do this. I don't want to be the owner, and I also don't want it to belong to my group anymore. I want it to belong to root, and also go into root group. So let's do root and root again. Script. Oh, I need to use sudo because root is involved. So now, if I do ls-l, as you can see, script is no longer belong to me. It's not mine anymore. Now it belongs to the user root, and it also belongs to the root group. So let's say I wanted to keep it to the owner root and just change the group it belonged to. I think I have a group called dev app in the system. So I can do the same thing. I can do sudo ch own. We're gonna keep root. You know what? We can just do this. This will just keep root, and then we can just change. So whatever is on the left is the owner. Whatever is on the right is the group. Since we're not changing the owner, we're just changing the group. We can use this shortcut. So dev app. You know what? Before we do that, let's verify first. Let's do cat cect. Oops. There's no such thing as S in it. Okay, there you go. I have two groups. I have a dev app group, and then I have a staff group. So now that we know they exist, let's go back. Let's do that. Now let's do sudo ch own. We're gonna keep root as the owner. We're just gonna assign that to the dev app group. So now if we check it out again, we can see now script still belong to root, and now it belong to the dev app group. And that is one way we can change the owner in the group, but we also have chgrp that doesn't do anything with the user or the owner. It just change the group. So let's say I want script to belong to staff. I can do the same thing. I can do ch. Let's do sudo just to make sure it doesn't come back with an error. F. So when it comes to chgrp, we just use the command, the new group that we want to assign, the file name. So staff script, boom, that's it. Now if we check it again, now script is part of the staff group. So those are the two ways you can assign file to a specific group. Just know that the ch own and the chgrp does not add user into any group. That is a different command you use to add specific user to a group. This video is all about permission and assigning permission, or well, I mean it's mostly about permission, but assigning groups to different files. We're not adding anything into groups or anything like that. So this is not the video for that. So I think there is a comment for that called group add. I'll make a video about creating user, deleting user. In that video, then I will show you guys how to add groups and remove groups and all that good stuff. So it's very simple when it comes to assigning a file to a specific group, user to a specific group. We have to command, which is the chown and the chgrp. So that's one way to, that's the only way we can assign file to a specific group or user to a specific groups. Let me put everything back the way it was. Let's do sudo ch30c script. So now it back, everything belong to me now. Okay, let's keep it moving. Let's move to default permission, which is UMask, which stands for user file creation mask. UMask just determine the default permission for new file and directory. For example, let me clear this. Let me remove text.txt. Let me remove have the script and Obsidian Vault. Now I'm gonna create two new thing inside of the document folder. I shouldn't say thing. It's gonna be one file and then one directory. So let's do touch to create a file. We're gonna call that file1.txt, and then we're gonna do make dir file2, and then that's it. So as you can see, when I was creating the file in the directory, I did not assign any permission from the get-go. So if I do -ls both come with their own permission from the jump, which is the owner. So when it comes to file doesn't get created with execute permission. So the owner can read and write. There's no execution. Group can read the content, and then order can read. They cannot delete, they cannot edit, none of that good stuff. They can just read it, and then that's all they can do. And then when it comes to folder, the owner can do pretty much, the owner can pretty much do anything. So does everyone else. To some degree, since it's a folder, by default, you would need to be able to click into it. So group can read, and then they can click on it, but they cannot add anything into it. They cannot write into it. The write will allow us to edit or to put stuff inside of the directory. So we can just click, see there are stuff in there. That's all we can do. So now that's where UMask come in. UMask give the file it's the default permission, and the directory its default permission. So for example, let's say I type, this is probably gonna sound a bit complicated at first, but I'll make sure you guys understand it. I'm just gonna type UMask because that also a command. It show me two. I know there's only 4 numbers here, but it should be 2, but we're just gonna focusing on 2 of them. 022. What does that mean? For us to know what type of permission is that, we need to go and know what is the default permission that file and folder get created from the jump. So when it comes to file, by default, file get a default permission of 666, and directory usually get a permission of 777. That does not sound right at all, but I think that's correct though. If I'm not mistaken. So how do we get 022? So if we take the 6, so how do we know which permission that actually is? So if we take the 666 and then we minus it from 02, well, not 022. For example, as you can see, we have a UMass 022, and then we have a default permission of 666, which means everybody, no one has execution permission in this. So we can minus, so that give us read, write for the owner, and then read for everyone else. And this is exactly what we have for file. If we look at the file that I created earlier, this is exactly the permission it received, which is a 644. So that's how the default permission converts. So the UMass is what the UMass is. It's like a filter that I type it right here. Yeah, filter that remove permission from the system default. So that's what the UMass does per se. So by default, when you create a file, it automatically from the jump receive a 644 permission, which is 022. And then for directory, it's 77. But if you minus that from the UMass, we get a 755, which is exactly when I first created the directory. That's the mission that it pop out with from the jump, which is this. If we look at this, I mean the D is not there, but if we look at the rest, it's gonna be read write execution, read write execution, read minus execution, read minus execution, and then read minus execution. So that's what the UMass does. It's pretty simple. There's not much to it per se. I mean, nobody really care for it much. I mean, I don't. It's something that you should know. For example, if I do start file one, oops, file one does not exist, but file one.txt exists. So if we do start, that will let us know. As you can see, I mean, the UMass number is not there, but it let us know the numeric value, and we can subtract that, and we will end up with 022, because this is the permission that it received, which is a 0644, which is 0644. How we get that? By default, file get created with 666. If we minus that from the UMass number 022, and then that's how we end up with this number. So that's all. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's more to UMass. I'm not an expert in Linux. These are like basic things you should know if you're gonna be working with permission, in case you end up seeing 022 and then you have no idea what that is. So the 022 is a UMass. What it does, it let us know the default permission for file and directories. Okay, guys, there you go. This is all I have for you guys today. This is all I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a short basic video about permission. There's so much more that goes into permission, because we have stuff like UID, set GID, sticky bit. Hopefully I'll be able to create a video just for those permission. But as of right now, this was just a basic tutorial on how permission work and how to assign and remove permission into Linux. So the next video that will be coming up will be about creating groups, assigning user to adding user into specific groups, etc.